आप लोग अपना माइक म्यूट कर लेंगे। So today I will discuss about the next topic, the technology unit, and I will discuss about the familiarization of feed mills, layout design of feed mills, and operation of feed mill. So these 3 points I have to discuss today, but this is again a big topic, so it will continue to next one more class also. So before starting any feed mill, what should be our planning? First planning should be to determine the needs of the production. How much production and metric ton production will be required. So need-based planning is important, and one of the prime factor, what is the need and what output we want. Second, what is the purpose? Determine the purpose. And the last is design to requirement. What kind of the feed we should produce? There are different kind of the feed, and what is the requirement of that particular kind of the feed and amount of the feed. So these 3 plannings we should keep in mind before going to suggest to any person for establishment of feed mill. Here you can see that some photographs of different capacity of the feed mill. So what is, how we can operate feed mill, what is the material handlings, and what is the flow rate of the feed production. So plan, layout or design which plays important role or important part in any designing and engineering phases of the feed mill. Before establishment, layout plan is very much important. And ease of operation, that means avoiding disturbance, and operation should be free from any disturbance. Material flow should be in proper way, that is raw material, finished goods, that means produced or finished material should be in such a way that channelized to go into the market, and sufficient space will be required for movement of the vehicles, a space for movement of fire vehicles or firefighting vehicles, that is very much essentially required in any feed mill. So sufficient space should be there for movement of the fire vehicles, parking should be there, and different other utilities like Weighbridge, where the weighing of the trucks or before unloading the materials and before going to market, weighing of the loading materials. So this weighing bridge should be near the main gate and at security point. That will be very much important. And so before entry into the feed plant, the material should be weighed properly at the entry gate only. And the weighing bridge should be in a straight approach, so that passing and of the loading material should be easy, and waiting area should be there for unloading of the truck. Next is boiler. Boiler is actually for production of the steam. This boiler is essentially required in piloting unit. सर क्लास में बात करता हूँ, क्लास ले रहा हूँ सर, बात So boiler should be essential in case of the piloting unit and for production of the steam or mixing of the material before piloting. So height and location of the chimney should be made as per the government norms and to reduce the pollution, environmental pollution, and distance should be there because sometimes the boiler unit may burst and so the population density is very, not allowed in that area, and it should be away from the office area, and inflammable product whatever kept in the feed mills should be away from that boiler unit, and a storage space for fuel like wood, oil, and husk should not be close to the boiler unit. Different machinery should be required, and before selection of different machinery, select the location of the machinery, where to install it. That is very much important, and sufficient distance between the dust control equipment. One dust control equipment is there in the feed mill, so sufficient distance between the dust control equipment and residence area should be there, and properly select the location of blower duct outlet, which is opposite to the nearby residential area, so to avoid the environmental pollution, or to check the environmental pollution or direct contact with the human being. A storage, select the location of a storage or a storehouse, and the daily need which is required for the equipment as per the process flow, and it should be easy in operation. So we should select the storehouse in such a way, and storehouse should be, or feed mill should be, the rodent proof construction, and because rodent is one of the big problem in feed units, and basically particularly in a storehouse or warehouse, you can say that. So rat and mice cause damage of different grains, as well as it may contaminate the grains. So avoid excess of that rat and mice. So we can construct the house in such a way so there is no entry of rat and mice in. We can control it. Electrical transformer should be near the main line and security point. So now coming to the product mix. What kind of the product mix should be prepared in the feed mill? Like bulk feed and baggage feed. Two kind of the feed. Here we can say that bulk feed and baggage feed. So in case of bulk feed, mass, pilot, and crumbs will be made after piloting of the feeds or cutting of the pilot in a small sizes. That will be the crumbs. So mass, pilot, crumbs, textured feed, and other miscellaneous feed is coming under the bulk feed. Like that, baggage feed, mass, pilot, crumbs, textured feed, whole as well as processed feed. Whole feed like grains, premixes, processed feed, starch feed. So this is coming under the baggage feed. Cost center. This is very much important. So how the cost can be calculated? That means receiving of the materials, sizing of the materials, flaking, means different application of the different technologies, patching, mixing of the materials, piloting, continuous proportioning of mixing. there are some proportion or ratio of mixing of different ingredients. So that will again the costing of this feed unit. After this packing of that finished product, warehousing, where we can keep the finished product as well as the raw materials, and loading and unloading of the product or raw material. These are the costing centers. So this is very much important while we plan to establish a feed mill, and these points should be kept in mind in respect of the cost. So this is the flow diagram of the process, how that feed is being produced, how commercial unit has been established, and how it works. So you should go through this carefully, and different labeling serial number is there and labeled it. So you go through that diagram, how it works. Now coming to the system capacity. What is the system capacity? Actually, processing system, where total production process which must be able to support the plant products, and the requirement which is to avoid restricting production rate. This is very much important. And equipment sizing, which is based on the production rate as required by the feed mills, or what production, that means how much metric ton is of feed is produced. So it depends on the that capacity of that feed mill. So one of the example you can see that here, if the majority of formulas which is being made and used as a maximum 65% ground grains. If 65% ground grains, the grinding equipment should operate at not less than 70% of the plant production capacity. So it depends on the type of the ingredient, so which kind of the ingredient you are using in the feed processing or production of the finished good. So running cost of the equipment depends on the type of the ingredients. Here you can see that in example, if you are using 65% grains, so grains we should grind it. So grinding time is more, then we are using more quantity of the grains. So like that, the hammer unit cost should be, the running cost of the hammer unit should be more in that way. There are different types of beans or the feed millers using, like metal bean or steel bean in vertical shape, and it should be it can be round size, a square size, or rectangular size. So three sizes in the beans are available, and it is made up from the either steel or any metal product, powder coating materials, to avoid the rusting of that beans, and making a smooth and silky type inner bodies. So there is no restriction of movement of the feet. So here you can see that the photographs of the beans, round shaped, square shaped, rectangular. So now coming to the what is the receiving system of product and raw material. So minimum receiving capacity should be 2 times of the plant production capacity. This is very much important. So minimum receiving capacity should be 2 times of the plant production capacity. So there are other different factors which affect the receiving capacity, such as the receiving operating hour, receiving operation or operating hours, availability of shipments, size of shipment, how much capacity shipment loaded, and permitted unloading times. So these are the factors. Large pit openings and deep pits can accommodate full truck. So it depends on the pit size of the shipment and rail, car, loads. These are the different factors which affect the receiving of the materials or the receiving capacity of the feed mills. So how ingredient processing takes place by hammer mill? So hammer mill capacity should be designed to operate near full motor capacity. So motor capacity is different, and the hammer mill is being manufactured based on the capacity of the motor. So feed millers should utilize maximum capacity of the motor for production of the more grinded material and to reduce the cost. If we can run the motor in not full capacity, then definitely the cost should be higher. So to reduce the cost or to make the feed more more cost effective, more economic, so we can use the motor capacity at the maximum, whatever the capacity of the motor is being made for particular hammer mill. So in addition of an air assisted system on the hammer mill, we can increase the capacity by 10 to 15% while narrowing the particle size distribution band. So by that way we can increase the capacity of the hammer mill. Here this is a photograph of the hammer mill and this is the motor. So both are attached together, and by that way the grinding takes place in the hammer mill. This hammer mill may be different capacity. It depends on the capacity of the per metric ton production of the particular feed unit. So how ingredient processing the hammer mill? By air assisted system. So actually air requires 0.007 to 0.009 cubic meter of air per square centimeter of hammer mill screen area. So air assist forms negative pressure. Actually, this air assist system which cause negative pressure inside the hammer. So by that way we can increase the efficiency of 10 to 15% efficiency of particular hammer mill, and it will grind more by application of this air assist system. And this is the photograph we can see here. In that photograph, this system is available. Ingredient processing roller mill. Roller mill is also available for grinding of the material, so which requires less energy than hammer mill, less electrode consumption than hammer mill, and used to for 3 pairs of the rod to grind in steps for better particle size. And it doesn't grind fibrous, but the drawback is that it doesn't grind the fibrous material. Then the feed ingredient is of more fibrous fiber containing feed ingredient, then we cannot grind properly in roller. So this is the disadvantage, but advantage is that they consume more electricity than the hammer. So here you can see that the steam flaking, how the ingredient processing through the steam flaking, and the preconditioning is required by adding water prior to steam chest, and the steam chest should have a minimum of 1 hour capacity at processing rate. So this is all about the today class, and you can go through this PowerPoint presentation, and if you have any question, you can definitely ask. And just go one by one slides and try to read it and try to make it understand. And after that, you have any question, then you Ask, please.